I know it's hard to imagine a situation that there is a product person that have zero experience in AI. Really, zero experience. But that person knows that this is something that is really needed. How to start the way with AI on the product role. Probably the answer will be ChatGPT, but let's talk about it.
So I would say just use it, right? It's not about reading or theoretical stuff. It is about using. And here I agree. We had interesting contradicting opinions about the user stories. So I have to say, for me also the first trials weren't great, right? But what I observed when I add and inform, for example, ChatGPT about what I expect, like the acceptance criteria for every user story or something else, then it became better and better. So use in an iterative way. And the second advice, which would be from my side, is just not jump too much, because we have a lot of tools. So it's better to take a while and explore one solution. Another will be more or less probably similar, because you have a lot of similar tools currently. So take your time, really. Be mindful, also a little bit minimalistic about what you are starting with.
It sounds like do not have too big expectations.
I think expectations generally are good and high, right? Already. But so I think it's the same as you said, right? As with a human being, give somebody a chance to adjust to your style of working.
It's a good question, of course. I can share my own experience, but I don't know if it's a good advice, because in 2016 or something like this, I decided to go in the AI direction. So I create detailed development plan for me for the whole year, how to land in AI product management job, and it was 2016, so it wasn't so popular. And I started with Andrew NG course on Coursera, I think. So very detailed and very technical stuff. But I want to be sure if I really could understand the technology, and if I will be able to do this kind of, it was basic course, but of course technical. So if I will be able to do this kind of thing, I will be also able to be an AI product manager who works with research team, with AI teams. And I start with that. Then I create some small side projects using this thing that I learned during this training. It was useful side project because, as far as I remember, it was a simple application that check how much you should, what should be your salary in the future, using some parameters, of your current job and your previous job. So it was useful side project when I learned how to do this. Of course, it wasn't really research, really AI work that research team is doing every day, but it helps me understand how it really works. Like we have this kind of thing in the first presentation, I would say. Then I decided, okay, this is the good moment to start to check if I'm able to be hired as an AI product manager. So I I started looking for a job as an AI product manager, and it was the only moment when I don't get a job. But after a few months, I know what I need to learn, more, and finally I land in Sentio, and this is how I started. So this is the hard way. But I will say that just start to experiment. Maybe some kind of challenge will be nice, if you want to use some of the tools or create some side project using these tools. That will be useful. I really love this concept of ultra learning.
Cool. Let's talk about these failures. Do you remember the biggest failure once you use AI? The worst case scenario? The most nasty surprise?
Most of my projects started like that. Because as always, when you try to start, when you do something, because in Senti1 we started something, I will say, quite big during this time that we want to build it. No one knows anything about chatbots, AI platform, even when we have very good research team, it was very, I would say, innovative solution. So yeah, when we create for our first chatbots, it wasn't work, I would say, and people hate to use them, of course. And sometimes when you call to the banks, for example, in Poland, bots that are built on Senti1 Automate answer this question, and some of them I'm not, I would say, proud of it because it was in the first stage. Of course, we learn a lot, but of course, the first version wasn't so good. And for example, clients don't want to improve it in the future. Yeah. So yeah, I will say that.
You know, Tomek, I think any emotional reaction is better than the neutral one, right? So you should be anyway happy with that. Yeah, I can refer to that. So I remember I tried once to create the presentation slide deck with AI using some plugins, and no, I thought it doesn't really make sense. With the time being, I managed to adjust some parameters, but still, it was rather a lot of effort for the time being. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the future. Do you see any AI trends in product management? Anything?
Yeah, I have even notes about this question. Yeah, I see two trends.
All right.
1 second, I have it. Yeah, the first one, I will say that because this is also about what trends are maybe good, what are dangerous, because in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of trends. Maybe there are some trends, but it's very difficult to understand what trends are really impactful and really good. So I try to not do some predictions. But yeah, in my opinion, there are two trends. That first one is that it's very easy that almost every product will incorporate some kind of AI in their software product, in the code base. And like you said, probably all product managers, or 99% product managers, product owner will be in the future AI product managers, and it will be like just product managers. Yeah, it was the same with software, for example. Yeah, at the end we all software product managers. Yeah, and this is the first trend. And the second one, I also need to check it. Yeah, but we also talk about it that people who will not use AI to support their work will likely, people who use AI will likely outperform the people that don't use it. Yeah, probably, because this is like any other tools, like, I don't know, internet. A few decades before, someone who used internet was probably better to search information, and the same with AI.
All right, so I don't have notes, but according to myself, so I think we have two things. One is really connected to the interface we are using with the technology, right? So in the past, it was the programming language. Currently now, it is already, so we shifted already to the natural language. We are just writing something and in this way interacting with the technology. But I think the next step, which is already present, will be just talking, because why to write? And with that is connected the second observation which I have, namely, for us product managers and product owners, it is very good, because the experience in business and this business side is gaining when it comes to the value, because the technological background, obviously, still you have to have the knowledge, still you should understand the particular parts of AI, how it is operating, so LLMs, the supervised learning or any other types of unsupervised learning, right? So this all you should have knowledge, but still this technological part is a little bit delivered for us. So as the business people, I think we are gaining more value in comparison to the past. Yeah? So the business experience is gonna be even more important. This is not what you are gonna learn pretty quickly and just substitute.
Yeah, cool.
Can I have a question?
Yes, of course.
For
to
you?
me? Or to
Yeah. One for you. What trends you are seeing in AI fields?
I would say that good prompting and using AI for daily basis, it's a way to go, and there is no another way. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, and one more for you, but maybe also for all our audience. What do you think about conversation interfaces? Because now we are switching a little from user interfaces, graphical user interfaces, to conversation interface, like ChatGPT. We are writing to ChatGPT, yeah? And I'm wondering, what do you think, if it's a future or it's some kind of in the middle, like with, I don't know, with the console in our computer that we start with writing, but at the end the finish will be still the graphic user interface, yeah? Because many people said that we are going to conversational user interface, and I'm not really sure if maybe it's natural for us, for human, but if it's really the most useful way to interact with technology, I don't know. And I'm wondering, what do you think about this conversation user interface?
Yeah, I'm happy to share my observation, and then I will give you a microphone. At the very beginning, when I had a first contact with ChatGPT or prompt, I remember that I have to learn how to make a proper prompt, and there were some syntax, there were some formula that I should make to get good results. Now I see that these prompts are more natural. I don't have to focus on the super strict formula. I just writing in the natural language, and I have super good results. That's my observation. I might be wrong, but that's what I see. What is your observation, guys? Any comments?
Sorry, I like talking.
I like you.
Like you do. Okay, so my observation is that it's about how we learn. I mean, because sometimes we learn a lot by just talking with people, yeah? And the same is with interacting with ChatGPT, for example, or like other tools that AI have and have that chat incorporated. So whatever you are learning better, for example, like, I don't know, reading a book or listening to the podcast or conversing with people, that's, I think, your kind of future of how you're going to interact with this conversation interfaces. But if you're more a kind of learner by books, by just reading something, for example, you will still be more focused on this user interfaces, yeah, on the graphical kind of interpretation or of the data. So I think it comes to how we are learning, yeah. And I think not all people are learning in the same model. We have like different kind of ways. So that totally depends on I think the uniqueness of the learning model you have incorporated in yourself. That's my opinion.
Thank you so much. Any other? All right. Let's talk.
So my experience, speaking to your question, is both. We will do conversational and any other working environment which is useful for users. And as a mother of 2 kids, I know that they learn completely different when it comes to your experience, and they explain in a different way. So what I learned dealing with AI is that I have to be more communicative, more transparent, and set more expectations to the model that I'm working with. So either it's a conversation or a text or a file, I need to be more specific and more precise. And the communication skill that you have mentioned before, Tomasz, I think it will be more crucial than ever to ask a question. Tell me something like the 5 years old, and it's not easy to explain something to the 5 years old. I'm saying for the expert.
Yes, please.
Just to add, because I understand that you ask about what the interface will be the most popular in the future, the picture one or the writing one, the text one. I'm afraid that Marta already answered. I believe that speaking one, because it's the most natural way when we asking questions and receive the answers. So probably which date was the first, the movie when we have this HAL, tell me, in the enterprise. So probably this will be the future, in my opinion.
And if I may add to that, sorry about it. When I was in States, I had the situation when I was in Intel and the kids were playing, and I was, it was 10 years back. So for me, a huge LCD screen, a touch screen, was a big deal. For them, it was normal. And we will live in this world in a year or so. It will not happen in 10 years from now.
Just to add a few more things. So for example, whenever we put any prompt, actually 50% we already have an idea, just roughly like what we are gonna get as a result. But the real magic happens, it speeds up the process. Like I know, like I want this write-up, but I don't want to write. But if I'll add few prompts or few keywords, it will give me the good stanza or like 100 words, quick, bingo. This is like win-win situation. Things gets little bit complicated when people are freshers. They just say, what, I have to get this thing done. I will put this prompt, but I am not a subject matter expert, so I am going to use the information which ChatGPT has given. It may be wrong, most likely if I don't have a knowledge. So that's where when you have something like decision making or some analytical stuff, it can go wrong. But where I see it's going to grow, more actually, and I think more tech-based companies, they're going to use it for the conversational stuff, like in Siri, Alexa, even with the Vision Pro. These things are like already in development. But say, for example, if you're using a lot of Siri and Alexa at your place. So imagine if you have the ChatGPT or any kind of prompt stuff or AI stuff built in, they will start remembering your keywords, your conversational style. And actually there's one company, I think in US, they are developing something for the pets. So when you say something and you teach your pets, like when you press on the pad, it generates the particular result. So like if you want to do something, you press this pad if the pet wants to call for food or water or want to go for loo. So the pet is not coming to the person or to the owner, he or like dog or cat, they are just pressing the pad. So like there are few things, but it is more like conversational plus UA or action based actually, rather than sitting on like, I'm doing, hey Siri, can you please do it for me? Or like even in the cars, I think BMW is doing this thing on the dashboard. So you just talk to the dashboard while you are driving, the results are instant. Like these are things which you experience if you go to this auto shows or like computer gadget shows, then they are like very, very unique thing. It's not something new, but the thing is the hype. As long as the hype is there, I think it's going to make really, really things very simple. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, please.
Hello. So actually, they didn't have an answer to this one question. Like, was just thinking why everybody was answering. I think it would be okay. First of all, we will move to this conversational part. Probably it will be more with voices and typing because usually it's faster. But I thought about, right now AI is popular, I would say, within people like from IT, more like popular than within others. And at some point it would become so popular that even, I don't know, older generation will start to use this. For example, my grandma, grandparents. And at this point, I believe we will like come back probably to user interfaces, which will be more simplified just for them to use. And then we will come back to our conversation because, first of all, AI will evolve and it will understand like our thoughts, maybe not thought, but like we'll understand what we are thinking about when we're trying to say that. At least I hope it will help with business people. Yes. So yeah, I believe we will have this, like coming back to user interface a bit more, at least for some simplified solution for people who are not get used to those like technology. And then we will come back to conversation. So probably something like that. I would expect that.
Cool, thank you.
Think about the question, if we would use like language or chat-based interfaces or the classic ones. I think we will be using both, but the choice we make would be based on the effort needed. So, for example, I keep thinking about my friend who automated lighting in his house using Google Home. And I remember he was standing in his room and saying, "Okay, Google, turn on the lights in the living room," while standing next to the switch, right? So these are the things that we can make like with less effort and unconsciously, but using language and voice requires from us some more effort. So it seems it has more friction as a user experience. And personally, today I was researching something and wanted to like write an Excel formula. So I used ChatGPT to help me with that. And I spent some time explaining what I need from the formula, and I got the result I wanted, but I spent quite a bit of time doing that. But if I learned this formula in the first place, I would do it directly in Excel faster, right? So we will need to like select the tool for the job based on the least effort needed, I think. Thanks.
Yeah, about the speaking or texting, I wanted to say that people are lazy, right? When we look at the young people among us, they love to text, right? And they will want to do it in their job as well. And people are not calling each other. We're not speaking enough, right? We are not calling our mother, our old friend. We're just texting them mostly, right? So I don't think the voice part is going that way unless there will not be a screen to look at, that there will be a device that will be just listening us without the screen. So then maybe the voice can be somehow helping. So this is what I want to share, yeah.
Sure, just small perspective. I think, so I'm coming from the automotive industry, and I think the perfect user interface or the way of interacting depends on the environment and the context. I could imagine in automotive, if the driver is distracted, conversational natural way of talking to the system and getting the answers is the preferred one. If you think about people riding in the tram, with a lot of crowded tram, you rather want to keep your interaction more private, right? And maybe the way you operate it is still with a touch screen and nice and smooth user experience. If you're at home, maybe that's a different environment, and something else would work. It could be, as the colleague said, it could be still conversational way of commanding, but it could be like physical things you do, and we could even come back to the hardware, like you point on the stuff and stuff starts working as we want. So to me, it's really depending on the environment and what fits well to the constraints of that environment.
Thank you so much. Lots of interesting insights. Any comments, guys?
Yeah, one comment from my side. So actually, I totally agree, right? So it depends on the circumstances, the fit for purpose. But also, so we discussed just one way, yeah, conversational, textual. But we have to remember, as human beings, we don't communicate only in a verbal way, also non-verbal. So I would imagine, even as the next step, the multi-dimensional communication. And when you have a look at the current, for example, ChatGPT, this is already the multi-modal agent, right? So when it comes to the interface, maybe you do remember at the beginning you had to decide, okay, now I'm sending an image. Now I'm sending a PDF, right? Now I'm just typing a prompt. Now everything is incorporated, integrated. And I think we can imagine even step further when we will connect many different approaches. Yeah? So maybe the gesture, maybe the verbal communication, maybe textual. Face, yeah, exactly. So that's how I see it.
All right, one more question. Philip at the very beginning mentioned about some risks. You also mentioned about the risks. I'm wondering, have you ever remembered the moment that you thought, uh-oh, it went too far?
3 hours ago, I read some news about 11 AI. This is the name of the Polish company that cloned the voice, yeah? And they announced that they need only 30 minutes of my voice to clone it and then, of course, sell it or something like this, yeah? And it's, on one hand, it's very interesting, but on the other hand, it's crazy because a lot of not so good people could use it in very bad way, I will say. And I always say that I have this kind of aha moment every day when I read the news. Yeah, that it's something amazing, and on the other hand, it's scary a lot.
Scary, yeah. Do you think?
Yeah, so I think every technology and with everything, this is like with a knife. Yeah, you can do the good thing and the bad thing with the tool. So it is just about the intentional usage of it.
Do you need we need more regulations, legal rules, strict? Make it more strict?
Wow, this is a good question, and I think European Union has been discussing it for a while already. It is already signed, I think, since December, right? It is decided when it comes to the AI Act, but also with this topic you could observe a lot of different approaches and trends, because on the one hand, we can claim this is for the goodness, right? So we want to regulate, we want to really align the things so that they are more or less in the control. But on the other hand, we have some aspects which maybe not necessary are the best ones. So one concern, for example, is the limitation of the development in the places where it is regulated, in the contrary to the places where it is not, right? The second, just to name a few, because obviously there is a more, the second is regarding the open source, right? So people are having concerns, I think pretty valid. If we do regulate, if we have to really have the compliance, then what with open source, what with this power of us as the community? And then also my personal opinion is reading all this stuff from the European Union, also AI Act, which I don't think is the bad thing, but on the other hand, we do concentrate on regulating pro technology, and I think we should rather regulate pro use case. So name exact that this technology with this use case, maybe it's not the best approach, as we said, we can use for both good and bad, but maybe in this use case it should be allowed, yeah? So I think that's the direction the regulations should go, yeah?
Yeah, I remember I had such a momentum. I saw some deep fake, and I recognize it's a deep fake. I know what is, that it's available, but I care about my mom, because she may not recognize it's a deep fake. That was my momentum. That was my experience. Any comments? Your observations?
I believe there is a organization, so I will just relate this thing with the photographs as well. So say, for example, whenever you click any photograph, and if you want to verify it if it is originally clicked, so if you open your mobile, it has the tags. Whenever you click the photograph, it takes the metadata and all these tags, and it gives you the data like where the image was captured or when it was captured, who captured it, which device it was used. So it's very easy to verify. There is a consortium, I think, with Adobe, Microsoft, Sony. They have this license. And I think the same was, there were some guys in ETH Paris last year in 2023. So they have created the utility whenever you speak anything. It actually verifies if it is the first version or it's a copied one or it's an edited one. And especially, I mean, it was my next question for you as well. So say, for example, with the 11 AI, if you give your 30 minutes of your voice recordings, I don't think so it can do the same thing with your pre-recorded videos. So for example, if I give you the recorded version of your voice, can it pick the real your voice? I don't think so. But there is I think there will be this consortium when you can actually verify the voice, especially when it goes to the news channels or the like deep fake kind of things. So I believe there is something.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Any other comments? We have 5 minutes. All right.
Last thing, and I'm running. So I actually had a case where I was using ChatGPT to prepare a post for LinkedIn, and I had the summary of my notes from the conference, and I wanted to like create a post on LinkedIn, and yeah, I probably used the bad prompt, but the chat chose the 5 most important in his view, the 5 most important messages, and it were mostly men, and he like deleted the women part, except one because the name sounded like male one. And that was like, after that I started to like first take care of my prompts and do not give too much freedom to chat to choose for me, yeah, to just give him like specific instructions of what I need. But this is something that made me realize that, oh shit, there's like really bias in that. So yeah, that was my lesson, and I just wanted to make you aware of that it might happen to you too.
Thank you, thank you. Last question. Anything? No? All right. So, Marta, Tomasz, thank you so much. It was a big pleasure to spend the time with you.
Thank you.
And last message. I mentioned at the very beginning the product big meetup. It's a space to share some valuable product knowledge. So if you have such a product knowledge and you are happy to share it, please chase me. My name is Marcin Chyła find me here or on the internet. I'm really happy to help you with that. Thank you so much. That was a big pleasure, and see you next time. Thank you so much.